How you doing, guys? As you've seen in some of my videos, I've been working with black soldier fly grubs or soldier grubs for a long time for vermicomposting. Worked on doing some of my own bins. Right now I'm using a commercially made biopod, which has been working great for me. A while back I also wanted to get into redworm composting, using redworms and making a worm bin. And I'd looked a lot on YouTube and everything and all over the internet, and it seemed like a pretty simple affair. You know, you just drill some holes in a tote, throw some cardboard and shredded paper and leaves and whatever in there, and there you go, voila, your worm bin's going. And so I got bought worms by the pound from someplace, I don't remember where it was, and they showed up, it's good, got my big batch of worms, so I dumped them in the bin. Next thing you know, they're all crawling out all over the place, and it didn't work really well, and I couldn't really understand what I had done wrong, and because I followed the steps that all these videos have shown, all the videos were the same. So I really couldn't understand. I thought maybe it was a moisture problem or something, or it just didn't work out, I don't know. So I didn't really try again for a while, and then not too long ago I stumbled across a video by Liz at Big Tex Worms, and she was explaining why a lot of these bins haven't been working, and it's because of the original bedding for the most part. That worms just aren't gonna live in like big pieces of shredded cardboard and paper, and probably not even in leaves and dirt unless the moisture and the pH is just right. If you just dump them in a big pile of leaves that you just got out of the backyard after being in the mail and everything and being all stressed out, they're just going to want to get out of there, and they'll just climb out to wherever they can go. Especially if it's already dark in the bin, they don't mind crawling out of there. So you're just going to have a hard time keeping them in long enough to get an established bin going. Once you do have an established bin, you can put stuff like leaves and cardboard in there, and it's not going to bother them because they have like the base bedding to go back into. And so she actually sells her starter bag with some of her bedding, which she says like coconut coir and peat moss, if it's set up properly, can be really good bedding. And so she ships the worms in the bedding. Instead of just a pound of worms and like a big clump of a little bit of bedding, she sends it with the bedding mixed in. So you get the starter bag, you just put that in your bin, and then follow a few more steps that she actually sends instructions, and you should be good to go. So I contacted her and see if she wanted to send me a bag of those so I could do a video on it, and so she did. She said yeah, she was all for it, so I've been testing that out, which I'll show another video of the whole process. So far it's been working great, and not only is the fact that it's still about the same price anyways, just to get the pound of worms versus getting her starter bag. So you want to go with what's going to work right off the bat so you don't have to do it again. And you still can use a super simple container. You can use any opaque container that you've drilled some holes in if you follow the other steps. And she does a really good job of, she's been doing this for a while and showing exactly what you need to do to make sure the bin works the first time. She's got steps that she sends you with the worms, with the starter bag. She's also got a whole online class set up that she'll send you the code for if you buy worms. And not to mention all her YouTube videos, which are free to anyone just to watch. Don't even have to order from her. But so far it's working out great. So I just want to say, if you guys are thinking about doing a worm bin and you don't want to go through all the extra work of setting it up, perfect bedding, or buying coconut coir and everything ahead of time, just get the worms from her and they come with the bedding automatically. And so far it seemed to be a great help. And I've already set up my bin. Even in this cold weather that we've been having, they seem to stay in there pretty well, and I just waited the amount of time that she said, and I've already started feeding them. It seems to be working, and it seems like I've already got a good bin started, so hopefully it'll work out pretty well. She's got a good set of instructions on how to do that, so I recommend you guys checking her out. Link will be in the description box below this video, and it's Big Tex Worms. Check out the YouTube channel and the website if you guys have any vermicomposting needs. But regardless of where you get the worms, I do recommend everyone start doing some worm composting, because it's a lot better than just throwing stuff into a compost pile. It's quicker, and you get a lot more rich compost than you would just throwing stuff in a pile in the backyard. And if you want to, you can harvest worms to either feed to something or sell them or start another worm bin, or even put some of them in a normal compost pile to kind of jumpstart that. Whatever you want to do with it. So I'll chronicle that on what I'm doing to make my bin work on the next video. But in the meantime, go check out that, and I recommend you guys get started. It's a great step for anybody who wants to set up a mini homestead or any sort of self-sufficiency, vegetable gardening, composting, all that stuff. Alright, so here's the previous worm bin that I had used before, which actually didn't work all that well. They all tried to get out, but what my research and watching the Big Tex Worms videos has shown me is that it probably wasn't the bin, that it was probably the environment that caused them to all try to escape. So I've got plenty of ventilation holes in the top. I had a couple drainage holes in the bottom, which apparently aren't even necessary. So I just stuck a piece of cardboard in there. That's probably not necessary either, but can't hurt to have a real floor. So now here's the box I just got. It should be the starter pack. It's got instructions, which I will read real quick. Alright, here we go. I'm about to dump these guys out. Look at all the worms. Alright, now the step that I need to do, according to the instructions, is to shine a light on this, which actually causes the worms to go down into the bedding instead of trying to get out or anything like that. It says, okay, you know, I guess it tricks them into thinking it's the sun or something, and it just causes them to go underground instead of trying to worry about getting out and then make themselves at home, so to speak. Okay, so now eventually this is going to be an outdoor bin, but right now it's in my back patio. It's just from closer to the outlet so I can have this light on it. And then after 24 hours or so to 48, depending, we will be able to feed them and start the normal cycle of the bin. So cool, I'm pretty excited. It's really nice to have that bedding in there and not have to worry about that, because that's a tough step and it really makes it a lot easier. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. Alright, so here it is, guys. I've set it up, already had it sitting out for a while. I found that if I left the lid off, like she said, with the light on, it keeps them from crawling out initially until they get nice and set up. So I've just left that off for now, especially with this light on. Help keep it a little warmer, since it did get down into the 30s here the last couple nights, which is kind of rare for around here, but it does happen. I put the first batch of food in there and covered it with a little paper, and I've got a couple more pieces here. There was just a tiny little bit of lettuce that I put in there the first time, so we'll see what happens. First of all, see if we can get in, if we got any action. Oh yeah, there's one of them right there. Definitely seems like a couple of them have come up to eat this stuff. And there's another one in there. Cool. So I'm going to put this other stuff in here and make a little... Oh, there's another guy right there. There's another one. So I'll make it. Uncover that. Got some banana peels, a couple tops to some strawberries. Give them something to feast on. And then I'll just cover this with a little bit of paper. Give them some shade. Hopefully we should be good to go.